You need to understand this one thing. You are the way you are for a reason. Because of your history, because of your genes, because of the people that surround you, because of the country that you live in, because of the food that you've chosen to eat, because of the light that shines in your country, because of the education that you got, because of what your coaches think of you, because of what the audience thinks of you, because of the time that you live in that portrays certain things about your personality to be good or bad. Okay? You are the way you are. I am the way I am. I can stop certain things, I can change certain things, but to a certain degree, I am the way I am. For example, it's easy for me to speak. It's also easy for me to be in silence for days. It's easy for me to be creative. It's very hard for me to be structured in a conventional way. It's easy for me to be very flexible physically. You are you. Maybe it's hard for you to be chaotic. Maybe it's hard for you to be structured. Maybe it's hard for you to jump. Maybe you're really good at running. Maybe you are good at singing solo, but you suck at singing with other people. Maybe you're good at being creative in the morning. Maybe you're really good at being creative in the afternoon or in the night. So everyone has different strengths. If we speak about the parasympathetic tone and the sympathetic tone that people come with, they are born with it. They are being formed and molded with it throughout their lifetime. If someone needs to go at bed at 8 or 9 or 10 and needs to get up at 7 or 6 to feel absolutely energized throughout the day, if you ask that person to change that pattern, the person is going to be out of tune. If you ask that person to go to bed at 8 and ask that person to get up at 5, if the person usually goes to bed at 2 and then wakes up at 10, the person will be out of tune because the whole chemistry in their brains and in their bodies, but also in the way they think, will be feel slightly out of alignment. There are things that we can change, and there are things that take more time to change, and there are things that if we change them are going to make us feel terrible, no matter how good they may be for other people. Okay? So if you have a doctor, if you have a therapist that tells you that you should move more into a sympathetic or parasympathetic tone in order to become better at your sport, be sure that you don't only repeat and portray and try to fit into what the doctor says, but make sure that your doctor understands your patterns and understands where they come from and can respect them to a certain degree too. So I have some clients at the moment that are very into, let's say, something like high rocks, CrossFit, a high intensity training type of training. So no, people that love to do these type of sports, they have a tendency to be more active, outgoing, or let's say more in a sympathetic tone, which means it's negatively expressed in our society. They say fight and flight, not good. Then we have the rest and digest, really good. So we have already a bad and a good guy, as in a bad nervous system and a good nervous system. And the one that you should be in, the one you shouldn't be in, the one that is going to create damage, the one that is going to heal you. I think a bit different about this. I am sure that people that are more prone to be A or more prone to be B have a way to restore themselves in the sympathetic tone that the people that are in the parasympathetic tone can't restore themselves with. So if you are a more high intensity athlete, if you're someone that needs to be like this all the time, yes, it can serve you to do things that relax you, but these type of people will need a other type of relaxation for them to fall back in balance than these type of people. If you are by tendency more into taking it very easy, feeling tired in the morning, wanting to have a coffee, reading more like this, then going to library, then feeling really good at reading, taking time, then it doesn't take any effort for you to be at peace. If I ask you to go for Hyrox training tomorrow, it's going to be like burnout for you. We can argue and say the people that do things like high rocks, CrossFit, competition training, they can't rest. They are constantly on this. But you could also say that people that are only reading books, writing or programming systems on their computer and watching TV or Netflix in the nights, they They are lazy, they are incapable to do sports, and they can't be active. Sometimes, after an injury, you might be more in this. Sometimes, whilst being mentally injured, you might be more in this. If we take this as a sympathetic fight and flight and this parasympathetic rest and digest, depends. Some circumstances and experiences in life, like breakups, can move you more into this or more into that. You need to understand the texture of your personality, the texture of your tendencies, the texture of your brain, how it functions, and how it wants to function to heal you or to stop you from healing. And if we speak about healing, I mean expanding your path in life into the zone that makes you feel most alive. Okay? You need to understand how you function so that you don't depend on doctor's opinion, a type of understanding of human development that doesn't align with your values. Or you have to be careful that you understand yourself better and still stay open to understanding life, yourself, and medicine from a perspective that makes sense from a physical aspect connected to your rational mind. So that you don't read stuff, listen to stuff, watch stuff, and you're like, I know, I have a new problem that I've never thought about. I think I am unable to sleep because I'm unable to eat well because I'm unable to lose weight because maybe the knowledge of our time doesn't align with your solution. So you're looking for a solution that might not be in the conventional and passion of knowledge that is just distributed in the world through social media or through books. My wrist hurt from the training today. So what I want to say with that is be mindful about your tendencies and stop seeing and looking for the sickness that you might not have by comparing yourself with paradigms. I can't speak English at the moment. So that you take care, be careful to not look for something that is supposed to be perfect, that you're supposed to be, that you are not, that you should become, because that's even more stressful than the problem that you're actually trying to find a solution for. Not everything can be healed through work. Sometimes we need to accept and recognize the strength and the beauty that our fingerprint, who you are, makes sense for who you should become. Who you are makes sense for what you want to do in your life. So it's important to understand, to read and trust instead of trying to change and going to therapists and paying coaches and paying healers and paying industries to try to make you change. With worst case, with facial operations. No, I mean, everyone can do whatever she wants with their lives. But nevertheless, going back to breathing, if you are an athlete that has issues with the parasympathetic or the sympathetic, stay tuned because I have a lot to say about this tomorrow. Sleep well.